Pop out, treat this block like an end zone. What? Score, check it. Benji calling money my ringtone. 100 or blue.
For this Week 10 matchup, the Saints come marching into Tennessee. But will they return to New Orleans with a win? We'll find out next on EA Sports.
By many accounts, one of the most underrated home venues in all of the NFL resides in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where we find ourselves at Nissan Stadium. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Godwin, my broadcast. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan Ball Club entering play. They've been cooking these last couple months. Winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
And if you extrapolate that out to a full season, they'd be 14-2. And anyone in the NFL today would sign up for that.
So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. They'll be led out by the 2015 NFL Most Valuable Player in his 11th season in the league, 32-year-old Cam Newton.
And he is hot, hot, hot. Yeah, okay, so there's a blemish in there, right? He did throw one interception in the last game.
But 5 touchdown passes.
Okay, that's the offset you want.
I say bench him. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
You are tough, Coach. I thought the ratio was if you got to 3-1, your quarterback was operating at peak efficiency. 5-1.
And a win.
And a win? Yeah, just let him keep throwing it.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. And that last throw, Charles, is going to move him past 32,942 yards passing for his career, and that surpasses the total of the Hall of Famer and a colleague of both of ours, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, played from 1989 to 2000, and Troy Aikman, he was about winning. Because remember, he had Michael Irvin to throw it to. He had Emmitt Smith to hand it to. Just imagine if he was throwing it the way they throw it around nowadays. His numbers, boy, would they be sky high.
Henry again on 2nd down. And he's got Rome. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Saints' 10-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now at his first 2 carries of the ballgame. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And first and foremost, this is all about vision. He can see the play developing right in front of him. And once he's past the line of scrimmage and got a full head of steam behind him, he's just going to keep right on going.
And if you're looking for proof of his speed, Next Gen Stats shows that he was traveling just over 21 miles an hour there. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Now Newton. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Derrick Henry with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Titans take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories. And you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do. And when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there. That nice opening drive because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Saints now for their first drive. They'll be quarterbacked, of course, by a two-time Super Bowl champion in his 18th NFL season. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
And what a career we've seen for Ben Roethlisberger. Awfully consistent, tough, durable, strong in the pocket, great leader, a guy who stands in and throws it downfield, and has also added to his game the ability to get the ball out of his hands quickly and let his guys do work downfield.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Come on, let's go.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. We take a look at his numbers on the ground last week. Pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
So, Charles, defensively here, you're going up against a veteran quarterback. He's got a lot of know-how, a ton of savvy, but a guy who's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. What's the plan of attack?
You spend all week pumping up your defensive front. Your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that go after the quarterback the most, because you know that he's not going to run and beat you consistently throughout the game. You can rush more aggressively off the edge and even up the middle, because even if he evades you, he's not going to go very far. You have a lot more confidence going after him in the pocket.
Now it's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. And the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
The 55-yard attempt, normally you'd say well within his range. A little surprised he came up short.
And he knew it immediately, didn't he? They are so calibrated, aren't they? They can tell the touch, the feel. When they put the foot to the ball, whether it's going to be good or not, he knew immediately he didn't have that one.
And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll try the right side with Henry. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Well, this defense for the Saints, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. They started on the ground with Eckler. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Deshaun Gibson there on the tackle.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
Now Roethlisberger. Over the middle, that's caught by Claypool. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. Roethlisberger will throw.
He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And the Titans are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. A shotgun snap for Newton. Flushed out right. Looking for Gronkowski, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. When he went on the move there and started rolling out, I thought there was a window, but that window closed quickly, intercepted.
And sometimes, despite how big your arm talent is, you don't get enough on a throw when you're on the move as opposed to setting your feet and stepping into one. That may have been the case there, and the defense certainly benefited.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Justin Houston in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on the punt. Back deep, Golden Tate. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Tennessee offense set to go again. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
On 2nd and 7, Newton. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to have a first down on a gain of about 10, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard.
And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Jarrell Casey with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Well, defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Got his man. That's the Pro Bowler Julio Jones. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big connection on that one. 31 yards. Flush to his right. Finding room to the 20. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Well, when you got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure to wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding just a little bit trite, this is just a tackle that needs to be made. It's one thing when you've got a bruising 230-pound running back coming your way, but when it's a quarterback who's running for his life, your teammates will tell you, you've got to get him on the ground.
And we can see on the next-gen stats, he picked up nearly 30 yards after that initial contact.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Well, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. And he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis. And it's the Colts who have the lead in that one. Former number 1 overall pick Joe Burrow with a touchdown pass. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the football team at home at FedEx Field. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Matt Ryan has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And they trail the visiting Bills in that ball game at halftime. Raheem Mostert, a touchdown run in that first half. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Saints. And they will need to get...
We now proceed to the start of the second half.
Final adjustments being made in both locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half. And for the call, let's get you back up to Nashville, Music City, and Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the third quarter gets underway. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. And the Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. And what's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put...
Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. Tyson Alualu busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to... Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the veteran Richard Sherman. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
A first down carry for Henry. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Again, it's Henry. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Touchdown! It's complete. A.J. Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Titans capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
Now Mike Vrabel going to tell the offense to go for 2 here. Cam looking to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. It's his target, the tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll try the right side with Eckler. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute.
And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. And the Titans are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. Things just kind of continuing to unravel for them here in the second half. They take the shot downfield, but this defense, once again, up to the task.
Well, this is where you think about the old phrase, desperate times call for desperate measures, because they've got nothing on the scoreboard, and they're just trying to get something, anything to go their way. But in this case, they turn the ball over.
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. Jonathan Jones there to make the stop.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down, they go again with Henry. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time. But lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Pushing his way through. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
We got this.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
2nd and 4. Now Roethlisberger. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 22-yard line. A handoff, it's Eckler. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Back now in Nashville. Before they can snap it, time runs out. on this third quarter of play. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Meanwhile, Ben's throw here pulled in by Lazard. And they'll get this down to the 10.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Saints are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Extra point up and through by Myers. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This one fielded at the 5. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Derrick Henry trots back out there and gets ready to go. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case, well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage. One
play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Derrick Henry. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Henry running right. He can't get him down. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 111 yards rushing for him in this one as he starts to draw nearer to a 1,500-yard campaign. Henry will get it. He's been busy today. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit. Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he? They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to it. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Cam Newton with his 3rd touchdown and 18th on the year. And the Titans are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. So that drive there, CD, a good response, and that might be the one that gets them to the finish line, a comfortable lead. Yeah, and that's all about not letting the team back into a game because they just gave up a touchdown. It was back to a 2-score game, and anything can happen in that situation. But instead, they came through with a really terrific drive right there that ended in 6. So you like to slam the door on teams. In this case, they're trying to lock it as well. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. Robinson's got it. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory. Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets,
double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Able to hit his target, Claypool. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now here's a throw that's complete, and he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Ben to throw again. Now that's into the hands of Mo Alley-Cox, the tight end. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Right side, Claypool's got it. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. Roethlisberger. Touchdown, Saints. Allen Lazard, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. So 2 scores down, time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Titans are going to recover the football. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They run on 1st down with Henry, but the hole evaporates quickly as he'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Now a handoff to Henry. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Titans, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Houston Texans next week. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the